Thank you for joining us. This is Barrie Wrestling's Getting to Know. I am Mike Jeffries, and alongside me today is the last true professional, Brian Sinclair. Brian, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for having me on.
So first question, where are you from and how long have you been wrestling?
So I'm originally from Brampton. I'm living in Toronto now, and I've been wrestling I started training about 2.5 years ago, and I've been wrestling. I just hit my 1-year anniversary, which was, a little bit sidelined because of the old injury, but yeah.
Broken leg, not broken foot, right?
Broken leg, yeah. I fractured my fibula, unfortunately. So I spent 6 months of my rookie year on the shelf. So.
Oh, and broken fibula. That just doesn't sound fun.
It was not.
And what brought you to Barrie Wrestling initially?
So it's funny. So when I made the decision to start coming out to shows when I was training, Barrie was actually the first show I ever came to.
Oh, wow.
Because I knew that, all of my coaches at the time were on here and everybody had said, it's so great. And, Husher and some of the guys from KPK had been here before and said, if anything's going to be your first show that you come out to watch, make it Barrie because it'll make you, realize why you enjoy this.
That's so cool to hear.
So, yeah. And I came out, I forget what the name of the show was, but it was main evented by... I think it was Rip Impact versus John Atlas, so it would have been like May of 2023.
May of 23, yeah, that makes sense, yeah.
And I was just blown away from the show, and I was just because there's a million indies in Ontario, in Canada, so you can't be everywhere on a weekend, so you have to pick and choose the ones that you want to try to get on. And I knew right away, no matter what else I see, even if this is the first one, this is one of the ones that I need to get ingratiated with and get on.
And I mean, it's funny. So my first indie show I ever came to was at Barrie Wrestling. I had no idea what I was getting into, and the main event was Fight or Flight. So Vertigo and Forza against Wheeler and Albright.
Yeah, that'll make you stay.
And I'm just like, and there were a couple of matches on that card. I'm like, this is not the mud show backyard whatever I was expecting. This is good.
Yeah.
No, it's really good wrestling here. And so I was going to ask, I guess, your first impression there, but when you actually came, because the first match you wrestled here was the tag match, you and Matty Z.
Yeah,
but
tag match.
You did ref here. Briefly, we don't talk about that, but what was getting in the ring? What was your first impression of the Barrie crowd and the vibe here and the locker room and all of it?
So the thing that made me realize that I really wanted to be on the show, so when I started training, I have a theater background and some education in public speaking and that kind of thing. So I knew that I'm 5'4", so managing needs to be a part of my portfolio. So when I'm looking at crowds, I'm obviously looking at the quality of wrestling, but I'm also looking at the way that the crowd is interacting with people, particularly heels, in the ring. And I saw Clay Wilson do his thing here, and I was like, wow, okay, if I want to get heat, this is kind of the place to get that, right? So,
and I will say the other guy, so Mark Wheeler, who is no longer hated, but he did a Canada Day show, and it was I think the first time I was at a Canada Day show, and I remember the guys were changing across the street, and he comes out of the Five Arts Theater, he's drinking a water, he takes a swig, tosses the water bottle, and is walking, and within 5 seconds, it's like, oh, this guy's a dick.
Yeah.
And it's just, you know it right away. And yeah, our crowd is, they're very, I mean, when Clay cheated and won the title, and then, at the end of it yells, who sucks now, and you just hear 300 people in unison yell, you do.
Yeah, I think that's kind of the benefit of having a very similar crowd makeup every time.
Yeah.
The same fans are very devoted to the product, and they'll be here every time, which gives you a unique opportunity that I think some other indies don't necessarily have, where if you have the same crowd every time, you can tell a long-term story.
Yes.
And you can get gimmicks over long form that they'll remember. But I remember in terms of feeling the crowd myself, I'll be honest, that pre-show tag that we had, that was I think 2 weeks before I got greenlit. I was super green. When you're looking at the crop of battle arts guys that are here now, like myself, Maddie, KPK, Husher, I'm it's a weird paradox because I'm the oldest, but I'm also the least experienced. They all have 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
So I was super, super green. Didn't really know what I was doing. So the crowd, they were very polite. People don't heckle here, which is something interesting.
Nice.
But I was super, super green. They didn't know who I was. My character wasn't over yet, so it was kind of whatever. But when we did the Chimera thing, when we came out and put it together, and I cut that promo, I was I was almost in awe of just what I was feeling cutting that first promo, because one, they were booing me so loudly the whole time that I literally couldn't hear what I was saying.
Yep.
Coming out of the PA system, and a boo was right in my ear, you need to speak up, and I was I'm literally screaming into the mic for 5 minutes and you can't hear it. I'm wow, this is like that's magic. Like if I can come out and do that every month, like I'm happy to be in the industry just for that, you know.
I don't know if you've watched. There's an old. It's 2022 November was our Survivor Series match. I can't remember the heel team. It's Clay Wheeler. Anyways, the loudest sustained boos from the minute they walk out until they're done their entrance, and like Jim and I can barely hear ourselves through the head, and the headsets are noise canceling.
Yeah.
But the noise coming through our mics was just over, and it's like, this is the loudest I've ever heard. Like, they hate these guys. Yeah. Oh no, our crowd hates as hard as it loves, and it's appreciated.
But the nice thing is, the reason they hate so much is because they remember.
Yes,
and that's so important for long-term angles and like having long-term sustained like character arcs and that kind of thing, and that's what I really appreciate about here.
It's something, for as I mentioned, we were talking about the 10th anniversary, is that we don't have to do like fly-in guys. I mean, we'll bring in like a Trent Seven or whatever, but like our crowd, we got Amir Jordan here tonight, but like our crowd would rather see like Gabriel Fuerza against Kyle Boone than, I don't know, Dijak versus. Like, I'm not nothing against those guys. Like, they're incredibly talented, but our crowd is invested in Barrie.
It's a different vibe, and I think it really is like intuitively like a good thing for Barrie, because they're invested not just in the angles, but they're very invested in individual characters. Like,
yes,
you talked about my experience as a ref here, so I mean we can go into that a little bit, but breaking the fourth wall here, but if you go back and watch the archives, Von Vertigo versus Van Landen, when Van Landen won the Three Pistols Championship,
yep.
I just happened to be the backup ref because I just happened to be there.
Yep.
And again, it was the opposite reaction, because obviously they were super happy for him, but I could feel that like everybody in the crowd, they weren't just cheering because a babyface won the title, or they weren't just popping because the belt changed hands. They were invested in seeing their guy Van Landen win the championship. They cared about him, and you could feel it.
Yes, that is one of my favorite reactions. Fuerza and Sabre murdering Kyle Boone, and the crowd being absolutely.
Sorry, I laugh. It was terrifically violent.
Pin drop silent, and for minutes.
Yeah.
Was just eerie. So the other reversal beating Fuerza for the title is the only time I can remember the crowd being like, "What just happened?"
Yeah, well, I mean, but the thing is, too, like, that wasn't even just a one-off reaction, because it carried over into the next show.
Yeah.
Because when Fuerza came out on the next show to, like, do the explain your actions whole thing, the mic wasn't working.
Yeah.
So you would think that they would just be heckling him or something, but they went dead silent because they actually wanted to hear what he had to say. Why did you do this, right? And again, it's just like... It's just different, man. It's just a different kind of crowd and I mean that in the best possible way.
Well, I want to get back to you. I could talk about praise of Barrie wrestling all day, but I want to get back to you. So you mentioned you had a theater back, and as soon as you said theater background, public speaking, I went, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. So you are, and I'll say this on camera, you are, if not the best promo, we have one of the best promos.
I really appreciate
on the Ontario Indies. And so I've known, and this is not too much, I've known I could talk since I was a kid.
Right.
I used to turn off the sound on video games and do commentary on my own, like video awesome. Games on the Super Nintendo, because I'm 40. When did you learn that you could talk? Like, when did you realize, hey, I can do this?
Man, so like when I was growing up, my parents always wanted me to have like an extracurricular to keep me busy, or like put my mind towards something. And they tried like my dad's a basketball coach. They tried like sports, soccer. I'm 5'4". I got asthma. Like it's not happening. But eventually they signed me up for theater classes, and something about it just stuck. Like I just kind of had a knack for it. I've always sort of spoken with a complicated vocabulary. Like I have just sort of like a natural knack for just picking up on the meaning of things and then using it later, if that makes sense. So,
yeah.
So then I went to a performing arts high school. So I basically took drama every semester. And then my educational background, I have a master's degree in public administration. So I've taken courses on like public sector communication, so like speech writing and that sort of stuff. And it was weird because I never thought I would use those skills for anything. I thought it was just something I was doing to keep my mind busy and keep myself, sane and have something to do outside of like school and work or whatever. But I just had that whole skill set just in the back of my head. I didn't think I would apply it for anything. And then wrestling, like, it just naturally just came back out. And since then, it's just like, I'm happy that I'm getting to use that skill that I cultivated, right?
That's awesome. My other question for you on it. So for me, I know anytime I have to give any kind of a talk, I don't cut promos here. I just talk, but I go over it a lot in my head, and I try and like I did the pre-show 10th anniversary thing, and like my wife joked I was practicing it. She could hear me practicing it in the shower, right? And I'm like, no, because it's important. I got to get this right. So I mean, you have Abu and Ahmed and Matty Z and you guys you travel with and stuff.
Yeah.
So like when you're cutting that first promo for Chimera, because that was a long promo, long monologue. Are you getting feedback from them? Hey, what about this? What about that? Are you writing it down? Are you going over it in your head? Like, what's your process?
It depends. So the way I approach putting promos together. Obviously, if I have a time limit, like I'll probably write it down if I have a time limit because I want it to be tight. One of the things I kind of pride myself on is that I'm like, when it comes to my promos, I get right to the meat of it. Like I just deliver the information, and the way I always structure it in my head is what's happening, why is it happening, and if I'm a heel, which I usually am, why should everyone be mad about it, right? So, so with the Chimera promo, like I was said, just say your piece or whatever. So I was structuring that, and then like I have a couple, one-liners floating around in my head. So then I'm kind of structuring around that. But usually, like I'll have a skeleton on my phone of like what are the key points that I need to say, and I'll have those points in my head, and then the rest of it is just off the dome.
I'm sorry, either stand with us or stand aside. No.
Stand with us or stand aside.
Okay, I did get it right, which was a good line, and it's good. I know you moved the C down to here, which is good.
Let's not talk
which is
about
good.
that.
Which is good.
I hate you, Forza. You killed this.
The C-men.
Stop.
I will say, not to. I don't want to. But you have a little bit of like a Heyman vibe sometimes. I think when you cut promos.
I mean, that's the biggest compliment you can give to someone who's managing.
Yeah, and it's just because again, it's the promo like that the words mean something.
Yeah, like I really try to get to the point.
Yeah.
As much as I can because like when I want to hit my time cues or whatever, but the attention span of audiences is a little bit short. They give you a lot of leeway here, obviously, because again, this is a different room, but like if you're just going on and on and on and on, they kind of zone out a little bit.
Yeah.
So when the time you're getting to like, oh, these are the lines I want to hit that are going to get the most heat, maybe they're not there for you.
Yeah.
So I just try to really get to like the meat and potatoes of what I need to say. And then everything else that I'm doing to get heat is like the embellishment on that, right?
You sitting on a stage with a broken leg cutting a promo should be on your sizzle reel forever. So, serious question. I've asked this to Abu Ahmed and Husher as well. Mm-hmm. So, and it's something Sean wanted me to ask you guys. Wrestling historically very white dominated, white champions. Things are different in 2025, but there's still a lot of change there. Now, as a visible minority, like, do you feel any kind of pressure behind that? And like, what's it like being, a visible minority wrestling right now?
So again, it's a little different for me than it probably is for those guys for a couple of reasons. One, primarily I'm a manager. Like I think probably 2/3 of my bookings are for management gigs now rather than wrestling. So it's a different perspective. But also I don't really outwardly present as a visible minority as much as maybe they do. Like most people usually think that I'm like Greek or Italian or something like that. Like my dad's Trinidadian, my mom is like Scottish Canadian, so like I'm mixed.
Okay.
So it's a little bit different for me. Like I haven't personally faced any sort of like prejudice from fans or anything. Like when people are heckling me, it's usually maybe it's a blessing in disguise that I'm short because that's the first thing that they go to when they want to.
I get it.
It's usually the first thing that they go to rather than like anything, racial or any other aspect of my character. But like personally, I haven't faced any barriers or felt that I have. I don't feel like I've ever faced any sort of like prejudice from a crowd based on like the color of my skin or the way I present or anything like that. So yeah, like, you hear horror stories obviously about how it used to be for guys, and I'm just sort of fortunate that I've sort of come into the business at a time where that seems to kind of be dead and buried.
In most places.
It's kind of like most places that have been wrestling. If something like that happens, it's like a big deal because it's so out of the ordinary.
Yeah.
Now, I feel like wrestling's like a very, very inclusive space. Like that sort of rapport between fans and wrestlers is kind of like that mutual understanding is, I feel, is there.
Yeah.
Right?
We need to be height inclusive too, people. Okay.
No, please boo me for being short. It's great.
Okay, but don't boo me for being short. I've heard it my whole life. Wait, am I tall in Trinidad? Like, is that a thing?
Probably, actually.
Oh, I might have to move there. All right. And now the fun questions here, which you already know some of them because I've asked everybody else. But
now I know Husher was in here before me, so I'm assuming he just buried all of us on everything.
Not necessarily. He just said you're all depressed and sad. So you, Matty Z, KP, like Abu Ahmed and Husher, you all train together. Of those five, who is most likely to be late for class?
Everybody's been saying Matty. It's Abu.
No, everybody's saying Abu.
Oh, really? I'm sorry, Abu said Matty because he's fun. Yeah, no, it's Abu. Abu is always late.
No, Matty said him now, but usually Abu. And then Ahmed said it's only not Abu now because Ahmed drives him.
And I drive him home. Yeah, that's that's true. I drop my...
The main event, Poppy. He shows up when he shows up.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, Maddie's sometimes late, but it's usually because he's doing other stuff. Like he's usually training Muay Thai, and then he'll join us. But Abu is just straight up late. Like he has no excuse.
Most likely to suggest or do a crazy spot.
Most likely to do one Maddie. I've seen Maddie, like, he's really, known as a striking guy, like a striker, but like the guy can fly. Like springboard moonsaults, all that kind of stuff. It's really like he's the kind of guy that will go all the way out with that. Most likely to suggest one, probably Abu, just because he wants to see the rest of us get killed.
I did like how the guy who climbed a snow mountain shirtless in the winter is not the crazy one in the group.
Oh, he's absolute sweetheart. Like, he would never suggest anything that would get any of us hurt.
Most likely to upset or annoy a coach.
Abu. Abu. It's not even a question.
That and best hair have been the shortest answers. So best hair?
Ahmed.
Yeah. It's such an easy answer.
Yeah.
Which coach is the most likely to get annoyed by one of you guys?
Probably Saber.
That's fair.
Saber, yeah. Saber's very particular, which is obviously a good thing in a coach.
Yeah.
But like, if we're just messing around or something, Saber, we'll cut that out. I feel like we get a little bit more leeway to the detriment of the rest of the class with the other coaches.
Who is the most positive guy in your group, and or the funniest?
Most positive? God, it's not Husher. I'll tell you that. Probably Ahmed.
Okay.
Yeah, Ahmed.
Worst taste in music?
That's a double-edged sword. Maddie only listens to Oasis.
Yep.
But personally, I don't mind Oasis, so I'm not that bothered by it. Usher, I'm sorry, man.
Usher said, he said it verbatim, Sinclair's going to say it's me, but he's objectively wrong. What does Usher listen to?
Usher and I did a drive to Ottawa about a month ago, and there was a winter storm on the way back. So the drive there was 4 hours. The drive home was 8.
Oh, no.
And by the end of that car ride, man, like, the thing is, too, because he's just got one long playlist with every song that he likes or whatever, and, like, if he's driving, like, I'm not going to critique the playlist or whatever, but I'm not in your car right now, so I can. But the thing is, too, every time a song would come on that everybody else in the car likes, as soon as someone starts bobbing their head, he just changes to the next one. Like, he gets a sick, perverted pleasure out of just, like, making everyone on the same level of sadness that he is. He wants us to feel his pain in the car. I'm like, we're not working right now. Like, we're just in the car.
I shouldn't be laughing this hard, but that's amazing. Oh, man. You guys all have great car stories. I think Abu told the story of, like, Haroon was driving and nearly drove him off the road, or he was listening to like a ballad. It was just him and Haroon in the front, and Abu was in the back asleep. Man, honestly, that's my next podcast. Is just wrestlers telling like road stories.
You know what you should do is just come in the car with us.
I want to
just sit in the front seat, put a camera on the front, and just like. But it's got to be like a really like group of guys that have a lot of cars. Like
get yourselves booked for C4.
Maybe I shouldn't suggest this, but if you ride in a car with like me, Ahmed, and Abu, I think you're gonna have a drastically different opinion of us as human beings by the end of that.
Oh no. Okay, so leave the wife at home for that trip?
Oh, certainly.
Oh my goodness. Well, last question. This is my favorite one because it's got the best answers. So Sean Gibson comes to you and says, I'm booking a tag match. It's you and one of your coaches against another student and a coach. Who's your partner and who are you up against?
So everyone has always made one of the teams of Boo and Wheeler.
Seems like a yes.
But I don't know what it is, if it's cursed, but every time I've wrestled a Boo, something has gone bad. So I'm going to pass over that one. I'd say probably me and Greed.
Ooh.
Me and Greed versus... God, that's a good question. Me and Greed versus Husher and Forza.
I just want Greed to throw you like Colossus and Wolverine. Like just cannonball attack.
the fastball special?
Yeah.
That's fun.
He and Jody did that in
at Northern Crown, yeah. I was the ring announcer for that show.
Oh, yeah. No.
Yeah.
Jody, I think Jody just likes getting thrown aggressively by Creed.
She's a great projectile.
Yes. She's nuts. I love her.
Yeah.
Absolutely nuts.
Fantastic coach, by the way.
I can imagine. Yeah. Once saw her do a head scissors off a skateboard in a parking lot, which just sounds like a terrible idea on all accounts.
I think Jody holds the record for person who's jumped off the most unique surfaces that I've seen. bars, railings, aprons, tables, that kind of stuff. She's just really good at jumping off of stuff onto people.
Yeah, no, that's on her resume, I'm pretty sure, yeah. All right, well, thank you so much. Where can people find you on social media?
So I think, God, I'm not great with the social media stuff, but on Twitter, B_Sinclair PW, and everywhere else, I'm pretty sure it's just B Sinclair PW, Instagram, Facebook, that kind of thing.
Well, Brian, thank you so much.
Thanks
really
so much for
appreciate
having
it.
me.
All the best in your career, and thanks for joining us. This has been Getting to Know.